Welcome to Vision Pros, the show all about spatial computing, visionOS, and getting work done on the Apple Vision Pro. I'm Tim Chatton, host of the show. Hello there. Welcome to Vision Pros. Today we're going to be joined by Devon Dundee and kind of get a preview, I guess, of his visionOS review he's working on and some just general thoughts there. And we're going to touch on AppleCare One, which we now subscribe to. It's now out, as well as the Alien environment in Disney Plus, which is also now out. And both of those things we talked about in the last episode, but we can now talk about having used them and signed up for AppleCare. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so over at visionpros.fm/Patreon or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. With that, here's my discussion with Devon. Enjoy. Welcome to the podcast, Devon.
Hey, Tim. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. I'm glad we could make this work. Summer is a busy time, and I'm glad we can finally sit down and talk visionOS stuff. And we're about a month and a half away from kind of reviews hitting probably for this stuff.
Yeah, summer's just flying by as we record this. July is pretty much over, and yeah, September's just right around the corner. So we don't know exactly when in September, but that's kind of what we've come to expect. And if Apple does what they did last year, releasing all the OSs at once, it's about to get pretty busy.
Yeah, because so you do the MacStories review, and there was no visionOS 1 review because it just launched, and it was more of like, here's reviews of Apple Vision Pros alongside. Did MacStories did they do like a review of the? I'm trying to remember the initial, like, when it came out, what was going on there.
We did a series of app coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was any OS review. It was mostly covering the third-party apps that were coming out for the system. And then there's a little bit of accessory coverage at the beginning there before we got into visionOS 2 coverage from an OS point of view.
Yep. And you did the visionOS 2 review, and there is no... we're going... 2 is what's currently available, is that right? We're going from 2 to 26, is that right?
It's pretty wild. That's the biggest jump of all of them. I think maybe watchOS is the second biggest from 11 to 26, but yeah, they're really zooming forward there, making a ton of progress.
Right. It's so weird with the visionOS. It feels like it should be 3, but I get it. It just feels so weird to call it that. We barely knew you before you jumped to the year nomenclature. Yeah. And there's a fair bit of stuff that's been changed. One thing that they did, I haven't done this yet. They made us redo our personas with the Beta 4. Have you done a Beta 4 capture yet?
No, I haven't, and I was disappointed by that because I had just done my new persona in Beta 3. And if you're going to be on the dev beta of visionOS, you're going to do your persona a lot. I mean, even just on the public releases, I think this is probably going to be the third time
they force
when
you.
visionOS 26 comes out. But I do have to say that based on my experience with Beta 3, it's worth it to go through the process because it's a totally different beast from what we've seen for personas before, I think.
Yeah, it's remarkable, the improvement there. And just like you, so like a day or two before Beta 4 hit, it's like, oh, let me get around. It's daytime. Let me actually do my capture. It's not nighttime. Let me get a good. Then, a Beta 4 comes. Oh, I guess I gotta redo this. I just did this 2 days ago.
Yeah, I was on a work trip and I brought my Vision Pro with me, and I was in the hotel, kind of killing time. You know, when you're on those trips away from your family, you kind of find things to fill the time. And I was like, let me just do this. So I don't know when I'm going to find time to do the next one. I guess I'll have to go check into another hotel and get my persona done again. But yeah, looking at the preview of it, I was like, this is just me in front of me. Like it doesn't look like a computer representation anymore. Something about, I think, adding the ears in and the ability to turn your head. That just makes it feel, I mean, in addition to like the texture of the skin and stuff, but I feel like I could probably, if someone wasn't paying too close attention, I could probably get away with using my persona on a call and them not notice.
Yeah, I think in a multi-person Zoom call, it could be passable. And maybe like, I don't know, the smaller the screen, the better with that stuff, I guess, right?
Yeah. But it really is impressive. And I understand why they're now taking personas out of beta, because this feels like the end goal of what they originally started with personas way back when, and they've come a really long way in just a year and a half.
Yeah, it's wild to say. Yeah, it's only a year and a half, really. Feels older than that, but no, it's such a young product. But yeah, remarkable what they're able to capture with these sensors that are on the Vision Pro. I'm curious with the hardware advancements as they've been learning from these sensors, what they'll be able to do with the next generation of sensors that they decide to put in there. Also, would they scale back any sensors like, oh, this part was overkill, and what? Yeah, I'm curious how that'll evolve over the hardware years as they shape this product line.
Yeah, that will be interesting because the range of coverage of the cameras, like in terms of what I can do with my hands, I'm always impressed by. It feels like my hands could even be slightly out of view, and I could still use them. And but I don't know that I would want to sacrifice that in maybe like a cheaper version of it. They could withhold that range a little bit more, but I hope that they keep those sensors at that level or higher in the next generation, because I enjoy the range that it gives, and it definitely helps with things like capturing your persona too.
Yeah. I was using the Vision Pro in like really good light the other day, and I had forgotten when you're in like a fully immersive, your hands pass through, and I could see my Apple Watch. I totally forgotten that was a thing, because most of the time it's nighttime. Even if I have lamps on, it's not bright enough where it's gonna show me my hands really, and it's like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then we get the ghost hands now, of course, with the 26. Have you been enjoying the ghost hands much? I'm not sure what about your at nighttime use of this thing.
Well, according to my Vision Pro, I live perpetually in low light. Like even rooms that I would consider pretty well lit. I don't know. I don't love ceiling lighting. I don't really enjoy, like, if I'm in control of the lighting of a space, it's going to be lamps or natural light. And the Vision Pro, it just it wants more light than I give it most of the time. So I live with ghost hands a lot.
Yeah,
and I think they're handy. I mean, I think it helps to know where your hands are in space, and having the ability to, because if you're in like a really dark environment with the Vision Pro on, it can feel like you're just looking out into the void. Like there's just no connection to anything other than your windows and your content. And so I think having your hands there just to orient you a little bit helps. And also, I type a lot at night with my Vision Pro, sitting in bed and just working on things after the family's gone to bed. And so being able to see my hands and get them oriented with the keyboard, that helps quite a bit. So I've been using it quite a bit.
Yeah, and the backlight shines through with the cutout and everything.
Well, I'm using the Magic Keyboard, like the Mac version of it, so there's no backlight.
No backlight, gotcha.
But normally what I do is I just fumble around in the dark until I can find the little
indents,
jutty part out. Yeah, that's coming out of the F and the J keys. And so being able to see my hands a little bit does help.
Yeah. No, the ghost hands, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I do wish there was an option to turn it off for like some things where it's like, trying to watch this like movie, I don't really need to see my hands, or a video game or something. It's like I just want to turn that off right now. But I do appreciate it being there most of the time.
Yeah, if it's a horror movie, that might be an enhancement.
Totally. Oh gosh. Oh man. And then what is like the preparation work for the review? How is that coming along? What kind of things are you trying to make sure you experience fully?
Yeah, I'm still in the research phase right now. I think it's wise not to jump into the writing too early. That's something that Federico has talked about quite a bit in the past several years, and John has as well. And so I try to heed their advice there.
Because they can change things too at the last minute too.
They can. Things can get pulled. Maybe they'll add Jupiter at some point.
That'd
I could
be
talk
nice.
about that.
Why is that still not here? It's like Apple Watch faces. It's like we'll add them for the public release. Yeah, watch. You won't be able to experience that until it actually launches on the GM or something.
Like maybe like the very last beta right before. That would be interesting. It's like the one feature that was announced at WWDC that isn't out yet, because everything else is in the betas, or not out, but available for testing anyway.
The only thing I still can't find the betas, I mentioned this before. There's something about typing, improved typing. Here we go. In their, let's see. Did they get rid of this line? There was a line in there like, what else? Yeah, here we go. Accessibility. Improved typing experiences. I don't know if this is in the beta yet. I've been looking for it. I've searched in the settings app. It pulls me to certain areas, and I don't see where it's actually directing me. So I'm curious what that is.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't found that either. I need to dig a little deeper on that and see what exactly that means because I haven't seen that either. But in terms of the review, I'm kind of just living with it right now and keeping an eye out on. There's always little tidbits, little things that come up that other people find that I would have just never thought to try. Like you can plug in USB capture cards to the developer strap now. And if you have an app that's capable of displaying that, is it UVC? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's something that I've heard. I haven't tried it yet. I don't have a USB capture card, but I need to pick one up and try that because I think that would be really awesome.
Is it?
And
wow, I've not heard this. So you're talking about like not HDMI input, but sorta like.
But basically, yeah, you'd have to go through a capture card, but similar to what you can do on the iPad or maybe even a webcam. I don't know what you would want a webcam for, but
so you could hook up a Nintendo Switch to a Vision Pro through that potentially.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Again, I haven't had a chance to try it myself, but I was reading online and
if that's true, you need to figure this out for the review. You need to get a capture card, and do you have a developer strap and stuff already, or?
I do have a developer strap because it's the only way to get full quality screen captures off the Vision Pro. So the Vision Pro has the screen recording functionality in Control Center, but it's using the foveated rendering of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And if you use the developer strap and hook it up to Xcode on a Mac, then you can get full res output of those videos. And the Vision Pro doesn't like it. It gets very hot and overheats after a while and has to take a break.
That has not changed in 26, it sounds like.
No, that's still the same, but it is handy for that. And apparently they've added, again, I've read these tidbits. I need to dive into them, but I've read that they've added the UVC video and Ethernet as well through the developer strap, which would be incredible. One step away from full USB hubs, which is the dream.
That's the dream. I want to be able to. I want a way to get audio out of the Vision Pro. Because then you can record a podcast. Basically, you hook up a Zoom H6 to it, get the audio out from the Vision Pro, and you can do the podcast the way I used to do with the iPad, But there's no way to get audio out from the Vision Pro right now. But maybe so the capture card things, it's sending stuff into it, and I guess you would need. I wonder. This is gonna be such a small market. Who would make a UVC app for the Vision Pro? It'd have to be like an iPad app, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wonder if they could just enable a couple of those that have come to the iPad since iPad got UVC, and it would just be able to read it that way. So that's on my list.
The dream is someone would make a native app so the resolution and quality would be better than the iPad app would provide.
For sure. So I need to do more research on that. But if there is an app out there that's in development, I would love to hear about it and give it a try. And so that's on my list of things to try. But there's just lots of little things, and then of course WWDC sessions, getting Apple's perspective on what they want developers to know about. So just living with it, gathering data, taking notes right now, and then as it gets closer to mid to late August, it'll start turning into an outline and go from there. So it's a fun process. I've only been through it once, so I hope I took some learnings away from that and can improve the process this year. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying knowing this year for the full summer. I didn't actually know last summer at WWDC that I was going to be doing the visionOS review, and so it actually came together later. So I've actually been looking at it from that perspective throughout the whole process, and that's been fun too.
Yeah, that's got to be cool. And are you also editing one or many reviews at the same time as your own?
That's the plan, as far as I know. Last year, I was able to help with the iOS review, the Mac review, and the watchOS review. So
it's very busy.
I'll be able to do the same this year. Yeah, so that's another factor in it too. And I love both roles. I love writing and editing. I wouldn't want to give up either. So I'm happy that I get the opportunity to do both. And it's cool to get both sides of that creative process.
What are some of your favorite little touches? Like, you can unlock your iPhone now by wearing the Vision Pro, just looking at it. Like, are there any little things that, like, you're just glad are finally here?
The phone pass-through is amazing. You know, being able to hold your phone up while you're in an environment and see it. I mean, you still have to get the brightness and the distance exactly right for it to show up right in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just nice that if you're in an immersive experience, you can have that. So to me, that seems like it makes that whole experience more seamless. You've got, as you said, your hands, you've got your Apple Watch because it's on your wrist, and now you've got your phone as well. I believe that also applies to game controllers, but I haven't tried that myself.
There is pass-through for that, yeah.
So, I think the addition of all those pass-through elements, kind of building off of the keyboard pass-through last year, I think that's nice. And the only other thing I still struggle with now is when I'm eating or trying to get a drink out of my water cup while I'm in the Vision Pro. I kind of have to feel around very gingerly to make sure I don't knock it over.
Yep. Oh, man. Eating while wearing it is a challenge. And also summer months, you got to have the AC cranked if you're going to have a good experience in that thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to get nice and sweaty and all the heat right there on your face and the fans going. And anytime I take the Vision Pro off, you can feel the change in airflow. I mean, they do their best to keep things flowing, but yeah, it can still get pretty stuffy in there.
I'd imagine too. You got to be careful. If you get a sunburn, that might be painful to wear. So be careful that your face during the vacations. Right? Yeah, I imagine that could be pretty painful trying to have that on your face. Well,
pressure on your forehead, that wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, or you have the peeling and you get down to the Vision Pro. That seems terrible. It seems bad. So you got to be careful out there.
I try not to think too much about the fact that the Vision Pro is like against my skin all the time. I do that with the Apple Watch too. So if I think about it too much, it just grosses me out. And I know that that's a part of it, but it just it's just a little freaky.
Yeah, the Apple Watch, I can at least like shower with it and clean it. I feel like we're supposed to wash and clean these things on the Vision Pro. Is that right? Or
the seal cover, it has plastic on it.
Right.
So and magnets. So I don't know how you could. I mean, maybe with some light water. I guess I should check my guide. I still have the whole documentation.
Yeah.
I'll bet it would probably say if you need
gently
to hit it with some water. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you could do. It's pressed up against your face all the time, and it's gonna have all that.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to dwell on it because
it's like, do you soak it in soapy water and use baby bottle dryer or something?
Maybe.
Like
yeah, maybe. I've still got mine out. I don't know about you, but I use that thing still for sippy cups.
It's very handy.
It's made me lazy.
I know. It's like, this is just useful. Oh gosh. As far as your actual preparation, are you an Apple Notes person, or do you have a different app that you put stuff in?
So my research is going into Apple Notes, and I just have a folder called visionOS 26. Every little thought or thing I need to follow up on is its own note, and I can add links to sessions or any sources, posts on Reddit or newsletters that I'm reading and things like that. So yeah, every little piece is a note, and eventually those will become probably chapters grouped together. And then once I have my outline, then I'll move into my writing app, which last year I used IA Writer via iPad screen mirroring.
That's right.
Which is a good experience, except for the fact that your cursor and keyboard are trapped inside the iPad screen. They can't go outside like with the Mac. So I don't know if I'll stick with IA Writer. I might use Runestone for that. That's my go-to for writing on the Vision Pro when I want to do native. And that's what I've been doing for MacStories stuff for a while now. But we'll see. The nice thing about Markdown and saving things to iCloud is that you can switch back and forth easily if you need to as well. So I might change it up back and forth.
Yeah, we didn't get text edit for visionOS. No new apps, really.
No, other than the Widgets app, which was a really interesting way to add the widgets gallery to Vision Pro. I guess there probably wasn't really a better way to do it other than to create a whole app.
Yeah, at first it's like, are widgets in the beta? And then in the very last page, there's the widgets app. Oh, that's where they are. Okay. Because, yeah, it's like, how else would you do it? That makes sense. Have an app. Yeah. And I find that pretty good, except for the whole nighttime thing. You have to set them, they have to, like, know where you are when you sit down before the lights go off. They'll stay there. Once you take the headset off and put it back on, if it's dark, you don't get your widgets because it doesn't know where you are.
Yeah, or if you, like, scratch your nose and set off the dark sensor.
Exactly.
And, the cameras just freak out and think that they can't find you. Then everything just resets. And so, yeah, the widgets disappearing at night is just something I've come to expect. I feel like usually at night when I'm in a dark room, I'll go into an environment just so I have some kind of something anyway, and that covers up most of the widgets. Most of my widgets I like to keep in front of me.
Yeah.
So I lose them anyway, and I've kind of just learned that if I'm going to be in an environment, the widgets aren't going to be something I can depend on.
Yeah. So the Vision Pro is tracking your hands, right? I wish there was a setting for the Vision Pro to be like, I'm tracking your hand. Your hand is about to cover your face. Let's not warn you that it's dark because it's your hand, and we know it's your hand.
Yeah, the problem may be that your hand, the angle it's coming at, it comes out of nowhere, and so it thinks like, I don't know, something's occluding the camera. Yeah, some kind of like maybe a short timeout on that would be nice. But at the same time, it could be maybe a safety thing too, to warn you like, hey, I have no perception of the outside world right now. I cannot help you. You need to figure this out or something bad is going to happen. So I understand it, but it's a little frustrating. It's like, oh, I moved my hand the wrong way. I should have known better than to do that.
The most obnoxious thing is when I'm using Portal to play PlayStation on the Vision Pro, it disconnects the entire stream. I have to like basically just like, let's reconnect to it's such an abrasive kind of like, oh man, I screwed up. Gotta watch that and can't cover your face with it.
Oh, that's rough. I thought it was bad just having to like rearrange my windows.
Right.
Having to completely reconnect your stream and who knows where you're at during the game. And
yeah, I've died
what's happening
before.
to you.
It's like I've been delivering packages and Death Stranding, and I come back and not good. Have you taken to Look to Scroll? Is that something you are enjoying, or is it something that frustrates you at times?
I am starting, I think, to learn how to get around some of its quirks because it's still the thing that gets me. I love it in Safari. When you're just reading an article, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And if I'm reading in another app that doesn't support it, I get a little bit like, wait a second, why isn't this scrolling for me?
Do all Vision Pro apps support it, or is it selective apps? Like, I'm not sure if it's just iPad apps that aren't working with it, or have you found what works?
I've only seen it in first-party apps so far. Mainly Safari and Notes are the two places that I've seen it. I was reading in the Books app, and I turned the Books app to continuous scrolling mode instead of having to flip the page.
Yeah.
And it didn't scroll for me. And
that's an iPad app, right?
Oh, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It should be a Vision Pro app. That's a natural candidate.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yes. Yeah. They have the spatial browsing thing for Safari. Can you imagine spatial whatever reading and?
Oh,
be nice.
Man, that would be really nice. Yeah, but for the Look to Scroll, the thing that gets me is that it's still active when you're editing a note. And so if I'm typing and if I've typed, the full height of the note for whatever reason, especially working on show notes for Magic Rays of Light, if you get into a bulleted list, you can take up a lot of vertical space. And when you get to the bottom, the page starts moving and it gets away from you. And it's like, wait, where am I at? And it's kind of disorienting. So I've learned to keep the cursor in the middle of the screen and kind of scroll and create like a safety zone, I think, around the top and bottom. And so it's one of those things I kind of wish it could be toggled off or would just automatically turn off when you're editing, because I feel like that's a very different experience to reading. But maybe some people like it when they're editing notes. I just personally, the way that I do it, I've just learned to keep it towards the center, and that works, and that way I get the advantage of it. I don't even know. I guess you can turn it off. I haven't tried to or gone in and investigated those settings, but I think the benefits outweigh the cons for me. You just have to kind of learn to work with it a little bit.
I also notice it's kind of frustrating if it's a window kind of high up or low down. It works best in apps that are central to your vision, because it'll be like scrolling stuff I'm not really looking at. It's like up there. It's like, oh, it's scrolling now.
Yeah, you have to be careful with your window placement sometimes. And generally whatever I'm reading is right there in the center. And I haven't experimented. I guess I need to try like putting Safari above what I'm reading and see if I can accidentally trigger it that way. Because, I imagine, I honestly don't understand how the eye tracking is so accurate on the Vision Pro in terms of what you're looking at, but I can understand how if there's the borders between two apps that are pretty close, it could jump to the next one and accidentally trigger that.
Have you ever reset your eye tracking late at night when you're used to dark stuff, and then it goes through the setup? Because I had time to do this because like, eye tracking's way off right now. And at night, if you do this, it's been dark for a while. You get to that brightest mode, you're like crying because it's like so bright. It's like, oh, let me get through this. I'm barely opening my eyes because I'm just like crying, it's so bright.
I haven't experienced that, but my wife, back when guest mode didn't save your settings like at all, that's come a long way now, but she used to have to go through that process constantly, and she would tell me, we'd be standing in our bedroom, which the Vision Pro considers really low light. Yeah. And she would tell me, like, this is way too bright. I guess they have to do that to dilate your pupils.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing, yeah. Yep. And so it can track efficiently depending on the brightness on the window you're looking at, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, it's kind of a fun little process if you're not having to go through it at an inconvenient time. Like, I enjoy it. But having to do it in the dark or having to do it back when guest mode was so inconsistent or about keeping track of things, that was kind of frustrating. I'm thankful that now you can save your data to your phone so that whatever Vision Pro you're using, you can connect it and get up and going. That's going to be great, not only for our spouses and friends and people who use our Vision Pros, but if we ever have to use someone else's or end up in a situation where we're having to swap it out or something like that, it'll be really nice having that data on your iPhone. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now, are there any plans at any point this year to meet up with John or someone else to do some testing of the local Vision Pro to Vision Pro usage of watching a movie together or working on some design project together or whatever it is?
I've been creating like a mental map of people I know who have Vision Pros, and like, what's the least I'd have to drive to go and spend the day with somebody who would say yes. And so, I've thought about it. I mean, I've also thought about, I don't know, I don't live in a big area. There has to be someone within a couple hours of me who would be interested in meeting up, but I don't really know how to connect with them without necessarily knowing them personally. So I'm trying to think that through. I'd love to make that happen for the review. It's just the logistics of it all.
Yeah. Where's John at? I forget.
John is in North Carolina.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah. But America's so big. If we were all like iMike and London's a small country, England,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I lived in a more like metropolitan place, it might be easier to meet up with somebody who, I don't know, maybe there's someone else out there reviewing visionOS 26 and needs the same thing or just would be interested in trying it out. So, fingers crossed I can figure that out. I would love to. I've seen a couple of like demo videos of people doing it. Yeah. And it looks like it works really well. I mean, I've dove into like the settings in Control Center for connecting with someone else, and it's also built into each window next to the grabber there. So they're really emphasizing it. It's just finding someone else with a Vision Pro who's able.
And that
to
could
do
be a cool story for post-launch once there's apps outside of the first-party apps that support it as well to do more stuff outside of what's available pre-release.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the testing phase, you'd have to either connect with a developer who's making an app in test flight specifically for it, or you can use, I think the example Apple gives is using the TV app, which is the canonical sort of idea of you can both be watching a giant screen and actually just be staring at a blank wall, but you can both experience it.
Yeah, I wonder with that one if it's syncing play position in that. Like, you're not sharing, like, if I enter the moon and someone, like, you're not sharing the same environment, or are you? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I don't know if it does. It doesn't do environments, but it is like a physical thing in your space that you can walk around, and you can do 3D models, and and you can even somehow loop in remote people through FaceTime too. And I don't know. I guess they'd be in the same position for both people who are physically together as well. So they're trying to really make it easy to mix and match that. And I think one of the themes that I picked up on from WWDC when it comes to visionOS 26 is that Apple has realized or is catering to the to the business sector in terms of applications for Vision Pro, because a lot of the features and the new APIs, while they could be beneficial to individuals, stuff like that really makes a lot more sense when you're in a company where you've got 5 Vision Pros and you're all trying to work together. And you can whip out your Logitech Muse and start making notes and all that kind of stuff. And it sounds super cool. It sounds very much like the future of work that I would love. And it sounds like Apple is trying to make inroads, or has made, and is trying to continue to make those inroads with the business sector.
Yeah. And do you know, is Freeform one of the supported apps?
I have not heard anything on what apps actually support Muse yet.
I mean, the collaboration thing in person with, if you have both Vision Pros, I'd imagine Freeform would be a perfect example.
Oh yeah, almost definitely. I feel like it's an extension of the remote SharePlay API.
Okay, and so like I can share a web page with Safari, so that would be another supported thing. And
I don't know that it necessarily comes for free. I don't know exactly what developers have to do, but I feel like it's based on SharePlay, and so if your app integrates with SharePlay, I don't think it's going to be like something you have to completely change your app to make it work with the in-person version as well.
Which, how do you feel about SharePlay being so front and center in this OS? Like, every window has a little SharePlay thing next to the close button. It's like, I will probably use this less than 10 times in this OS iteration for my personal use of it. Yeah.
That's a really prominent placement for a button that also is non-configurable, so you can't change it or move it if you want to. And it also becomes the lock button when you push up against a flat plane, which is interesting.
That's right, yeah.
And so that makes more sense in terms of what people would be using more often, is locking windows to certain planes. I've done that in my office, and I think that's really neat. But yeah, the sharing, I don't know if that's to promote sharing, to try to get people to understand and get more involved with that, or if it's, again, maybe it's the business side of things where people are doing that more often, and so they want to make it front and center.
Yeah.
I don't do a ton of SharePlay in my Vision Pro. The times that I've done it, it's worked really well, but yeah, I feel like that is really prominent placement for a feature that, at least on an individual level, probably isn't getting used quite to that degree as much as the close button,
Yes.
But but it feels like maybe aspirational. Apple's really trying to push that, and also maybe looking towards the future where more people have these devices, and so there might be more of an opportunity for spontaneous sharing. Probably once the form factor is a little more manageable and something you can wear more day to day, then you might be in a situation where you do want that share button really handy.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have also shared widgets. Like this is part of the shared widget for the family group that can all have a shared calendar or to-do list in the kitchen or something.
Yeah, that's another thing that I'm interested to see in the future is apps that allow you to leave things in physical spaces that other people can interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that having that as a part of the system in the form of widgets and even like little 3D objects and stuff eventually will be very cool. I feel like we'll get there eventually. There's different things that Apple's doing in the software in terms of room recognition. That's gotten better this year, and Windows not peeking through walls when you're in another part of your house, which is great. So the building blocks are coming, and I would love the shared widgets and to leave things behind, like leave a note on the fridge for somebody, later without having to pull out a piece of paper and a pen, that kind of stuff. I think I like to think about that, and I think they're definitely setting the foundation for that.
Yeah. Do you use the locked windows? Like, do you have some windows that are locked to work and just stay there, and you have different windows for home?
I don't lock windows permanently necessarily. My window setup in Vision Pro is very like I build it at the beginning of my work session and I tear it down when I'm done.
Yeah.
I do that on my iPad and my Mac too. Like I don't know why. I guess I just like that clean starting point.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
And so if I lock a window to a wall, I do it while I'm working, and then when I'm done, I'll pull it off. Like if I'm listening to podcasts, and I don't need that window right in front of me all the time. I'll just put that up on the wall and leave it there. I like to have my day plan. I used to leave my day plan app structured open behind me all the time. And so that would have been a use case for locking that window, but now it has a widget because it's an iPad app, so I can actually just set the widget on my desk and look down at my day plan.
Yeah, it's nice.
Not quite like it's a physical calendar, but very close to that, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so curious on the widget scene, what developers will do. The Vision Pro development scene is somewhat quiet, so I'm curious if there will be activity with the widgets on launch day in September.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because right now iPad apps can loan widgets to the system. I mean, if the iPad app has it for iPadOS, it's automatically available now. And so I wonder if some of those cross-platform apps that came to visionOS but also are on iPadOS, if how trivial it would be to carry that over.
It's funny, WidgetSmith's ironic that they did all the work for the visionOS app, and it's the one app I don't have widgets for.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that gets implemented because they went all in on Windows, right? And basically they perform some of the same actions, but they were treated like Windows. I feel like widgets get some special treatment and permanence and things like that they might benefit from. So, but I feel like it seems like from a user perspective anyway that the widgets are so similar to what's on other platforms that developers who are familiar with them should be able to implement them and hopefully carry those over from their iPad versions to visionOS. I think that would be a great way to fill it out a little bit as visionOS first developers figure out how to do that as well.
And there's a whole ecosystem of apps that are basically widgets like Glance Bar and stuff like that. I wonder if there'll be how apps like that will handle it. Like you could probably do more in the full app, but will there be a widget for Glance Bar that has like a subsect of information you can put somewhere? I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess that's kind of the risk you take being an early adopter of a platform. It's like you think things are heading in one direction with Windows, and then all of a sudden there's this whole new element with widgets, and we didn't know if or how they'd be implemented on the system, but the way they're done is it's very much in line with the way Apple's done it on other systems, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I hope more visionOS developers will give it a try because as much as I enjoy the iPad ones that I have now, I'd love to see my visionOS first apps get them as well.
And do we have 3D object widgets like a lava lamp? Could that be a widget that sits on a desk?
I don't think it could be a widget. I think widgets have to be that 2D window kind of thing, like from iOS. I mean,
they can lock to a desk though, but it's just a flat window that's locked into a desk.
As far as I know,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Is
how
that-
it works.
Yeah, that'd be nice if the next iteration next year they add some like spatial widgets. They could even call them that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like that. Apps can do things like that with volumes and
Mhm.
create little objects, but they don't have the permanence of widgets. I feel like widgets they really have a special place in the operating system, and this is the first step. But like you said, I think taking them to that spatial level is definitely the next step.
What are your favorite ones as far as widgets? Have you set some up that you're pretty happy with?
Well, I immediately in any room that I start working in, I set up a clock and the date.
Uh-huh.
And my day plan, like those just need to be there because they're always there on my other devices, and I look at them all the time, including my Apple Watch. Like that's the first thing I see on my Apple Watch when I look at it. So
Mhm.
I get that information, having that available in the same way is awesome. And I think the other thing I really love to do is the photos. I mean, being able to
Mhm.
set up an album to a widget and have it cycle through and have it look like an art gallery almost. You can even inset it into the wall, which is such a cool effect
Yeah.
when you get up close, and it's like, wow, that really looks like it's just built straight into the wall there. So those are the ones that I've spent the most time with. And most of the ones that I have available to me are the first party ones from Apple
Mhm.
right now. And so I haven't delved too deep into third party ones as of yet, but definitely the one from Structured for my day plan has been my go-to, and I immediately just set those up as soon as I get into a room so that I don't have to be checking Control Center constantly to find out the time and the date.
Yes. Do you think you'll end up with the Logitech Muse and do a review on that probably after the visionOS review?
It kind of depends on pricing and availability, I think, just in terms
Yeah.
of who the market is, because I feel like that could be a really business-oriented device.
How
And
expensive do you think this thing can get?
see, I heard you and Riley talk about this last time, and
Yeah.
I think y'all landed at like 150-ish.
Yeah,
maybe?
like slightly more than Apple Pencil Pro.
No, I think it's going to be, I would say probably $300.
You think? Okay.
To buy one. No, they'll be bought in bulk, for bigger
Sure.
businesses and things like that. But yeah, I just have to imagine that the technology that goes into the 6 degrees of freedom and that kind of thing, like it's so much more than what an Apple Pencil is doing. As impressive as an Apple
Uh-huh.
Pencil is, this is just a whole other level. I mean, it looks significantly bigger even as just a thing.
Yeah, what's a
And-
comparable product? I'm trying to even think like what else is on the market that'd be similar. I was looking at Wacom, but their main businesses are the tablet things that they sell alongside a pretty dumb stylus.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a comparable if there's a comparable accessory for Meta headsets. It seems like a pretty new thing that makes so much sense with Apple's history with the Apple Pencil that it should be on
Okay.
the Vision Pro.
Here we go. Logitech introducing the MX Ink mixed reality stylus for Meta Quest.
Okay.
And I was trying to find the price. It says get updates. I don't think this is out yet.
Oh, okay. So maybe they're making two versions.
Well,
Like
that
one
because Logitech's the one doing it for Apple.
Yeah, they're doing the Muse.
Oh, this looks
so-
similar.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks very similar. I'm gonna send you a link to this because this looks very. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even realize they were doing that, but yeah, and they have it holding the controller in one. Wow, the MX Ink. You guys should look this up. Okay, we got a price here. MX Ink plus
Oh.
Inkwell combo. It's $170. You can ship it. It adds a cart. So I guess get updates there for something else. Yeah. So $170 with the little. It comes with a little dock thing, a little Inkwell.
Okay. Well, I was being pessimistic.
Yeah, I don't know how comparable these two products are. Looks like this has a USB-C port. Pogo pins, charging supports. I guess you can charge it through that Inkwell thing. 3 hours of battery life with haptics or 7 hours without haptics. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, supports basically all the recent MetaQuests and all that. Yeah, so I don't know how much more advanced the Apple one is. There's a little button thing on the side. I'm not sure if I saw that with Apple's.
trying to pull up a picture of the Muse here too to kind of compare them, because we've only seen the Muse does have 2 buttons on the side of it and a tip.
It does, yeah. And the other
similar to
one
the
has
hand.
like a longer button versus. Yeah. I mean, the Muse just looks like a better version of that, quite honestly.
Yeah, they're similar shape, and this is actually smaller than I was thinking it would be. So yeah. So I it sounds like I'm way overshooting it. So that's great.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, you know, and miniaturization costs money too, so like you might think it might be even easier to make the Logitech thing being bigger than the Apple Pencil being all small. But yeah, there are probably gyroscopes and more stuff than the Apple Pencil has. But yeah, that'll be an interesting product to get my hands on.
Yeah. So you're thinking you're going to try it out when it becomes available?
I think so. I think that could be fun. Yeah. I really want. There's no way to lock a window to a desk, though, is there? Like flat on a desk, like I can have like
not flat.
That's what I want. I want like a virtual sheet of paper, just write on.
Yeah, the windows want to stand up. They want to be like vertically oriented towards you, even if they're slanted. But maybe with an accessory like this, they would have some kind of compatibility for flat planes. Because it makes sense. Some people like to stand at a whiteboard and write horizontally, but some people like to look down and write. And as long as you're not like scraping your desk or whatever, I feel like that would make sense. Are you are you planning to unpair your PSVR controllers from your PlayStation and pair them with your Vision Pro and switch back and forth that way?
At least once.
Okay.
Just to try it out, but it'll probably be mostly hooked up to the PlayStation. I was talking about this on the last episode. It's so weird they didn't announce the new controller multi-pairing thing for the Sense controllers. Only the DualSense and DualSense Edge is like, what are you guys doing? Because it seems like it's not going to have a ton of utility really outside of games on the Apple Vision Pro. We were thinking like it might have more to it than that, but it seems like not a bunch really, and it's mostly for gaming.
I think that seems like what it's mainly oriented towards. I think you can navigate the system with it.
Yeah, and it's basically the same things you can do with the DualSense or Joy-Con for that matter, of just like if you scroll with the analog stick, it'll scroll. Whatever window you're looking at, basically, it'll scroll.
Right.
So if I have my DualSense hooked up and I look at a window, I can scroll it with that window. And if I hit the PlayStation button, it'll go to the home screen of the Vision Pro. So stuff like that will carry over. But nothing.
I feel like
there's no like. We were thinking maybe there might be a pointer or something, like a mouse, but that's not really there, it seems.
Yeah, and this could just be the first step. I mean, Apple's obviously pushing it as a gaming solution for the Vision Pro because that just makes the most sense. And there is a little bit of that element of believing in hand tracking as the primary navigation, and so you don't necessarily want to promote super highly that once the controllers come, that might be a better way of navigating. But I could see down the road that integration going deeper. I'm mainly just excited to try out the Pickleball app because I love playing pickleball, and I love the ping pong app that I play on my Vision Pro. But having the controllers for better control of the paddle and playing pickleball, I think that will be a ton of fun.
Now, assuming they update Synth Riders, I assume they will. You must try this. It is a revelatory experience with VR controllers because you can feel it like you're riding the waves with the controllers, and it's very tactile. So on the PSVR 2 at least. So definitely give that a shot if they update it, because that's without controllers, that game is just not the same. Like it's just like.
Yeah, I've played Beat Saber on a couple different VR platforms, and then I've played Synth Riders, of course, on the Vision Pro. And like you said, I think there's something about that tactile feedback that makes it more enjoyable and just easier to understand where you're at and how you're performing.
Definitely.
Rather than just having visual feedback.
Yeah, definitely. And then Apple Intelligence, I believe you use some of the tech stuff. Is that right? Like the text editing and stuff and all that?
I do the writing tools for proofreading, and that all seems to be pretty similar. The thing I was hoping for, the Notes app did get not a total redesign, but it got some of those different elements that came with Liquid Glass on other platforms, like the big check mark and the different look. But what it didn't get that I was hoping for was the Apple Intelligence button up at the top of your screen so that you could invoke writing tools without having to select the text.
Yeah.
And so that didn't come. But yeah, I do use the writing tools mostly in the Notes app because it seems to work best there, even though it doesn't have the direct integration with the toolbar. It still does have the best integration in terms of not just completely changing your text. It actually walks you through change by change what it's suggesting. And whereas if you're using it in an app like Runestone that doesn't have the integration, it just like, here's your corrected text. I hope you believe me.
Yes.
And I've tried to use the Apple Intelligence actions and shortcuts to recreate that experience in other apps. And I've just not had any luck. If you use the writing tools action, it does the same thing. It just returns the full text. It doesn't return a list of changes. It just says, here's your corrected text. And
they should have a change log, like something like that.
Yeah, because writers, like people who are just writing an email to, and they just want to make sure that it makes sense, like that's fine. But if you're publishing on the web, you want those words to be your words. You don't want to trust a computer to change them. So I tried to use even the use model action. I said, here's my text, proofread it, give me a list of suggested changes. And something about maybe I need to like figure out what prompt they're using for writing tools. Maybe if I could find out what that is and I could re-input that into the action. I've just not had any luck, so I've ended up sticking with doing it in Notes. One thing that has made it a lot better this year, though, is Notes supports Markdown importing. So within whatever app I'm writing in, I can go to the share sheet, share it directly to Notes. It imports into Notes as rich text so that I'm not having to get corrections for, you're not supposed to have this markup here. It's like, yes, I know that's not right grammar. That's Markdown.
Yes.
So now it will check the text the way it's supposed to look on the web. And that's been really nice. The only thing about it in the current betas, and I think this is across platforms, this isn't just a visionOS thing, but every time you import a note, it creates a new imported notes folder. So you have like imported notes 1, imported notes 2. It's not adding them to the same folder. It's creating a new one each time. So that's a glitch they'll have to work out. But that Markdown support has been really handy.
Yeah. The other thing you need to buy for the review, expensive review, is some kind of 360 camera or whatever. A GoPro that has 180 capture, because that now is supported, right?
Yeah, 180 degree, 360 degree, wide field of view, all of that's supported now as just native playback. You don't have to use a special app for it, which is very cool. I need to either get a camera myself, which, I wouldn't mind having some 360 degree video of my
I'm
family.
sure drones could be outfitted with that stuff too.
Yeah. Or there's got to be some kind of libraries out there that you can purchase or license to just try it out.
For sure.
So I need to do some more research into that. I haven't tried the 360 yet. I have tried just in the Files app opening some things that are wider field of view, and it does work. So that's great to have it integrated into the system, because that was kind of a hole in the functionality that third parties were having to fill. And it just makes sense that if you take that footage, if you're investing in it, as that technology, again, becomes more common, you don't want to have to depend on other apps to do it. You want to just be able to do it straight with the system.
Yeah, and then Sigmund was telling me, your co-host at Magic's Light, that the video player can now seamlessly change aspect ratios. So like an IMAX movie that might change from full IMAX to normal aspect ratio, you can do that seamlessly without black bars being involved, which I didn't know that wasn't already available. And that's cool to know that's there in this OS.
So I think what it would do before was it would pick the tallest aspect ratio, and it would just play that the entire time.
Yes.
And so when you weren't in the IMAX, it would have the black bars. And so now the window can just adapt and say, okay, the video's getting taller now, so I can get taller. And that's part of the magic of spatial computing, right? Is that the windows don't have any bounds. There's no physical constraints on it. And so it can just magically adapt. And especially when you combine that with environments, I think that's just going to be a magical experience for people, like even beyond going to an IMAX theater, which of course is the ideal way to experience that kind of thing. This is just going to give you something even more unique where the screen literally morphs to fit whatever it is that you're watching, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the IMAX thing, it baffles me why this isn't at home for home releases. Like, enough people have screens that would look better with that versus the widescreen release. And I think Sigmund was telling me there's something weird with the audio that's encoded along with the IMAX version that's hard to make it work at home. And then I was also wondering are there licensing restrictions that, like, you can only view this aspect ratio on a certified IMAX screen, which blows my mind. It's like even an iPad with a 4:3 aspect ratio would probably look better at IMAX. Like,
yeah, I wonder if it's like the lowest common denominator type thing. Like when you're putting a video out for a store or a streaming service, you're not just thinking about tablets and phones and computers. You also got TVs, projectors, and I don't know, people watch Netflix on Nintendo DS's still or whatever.
Sure.
So like you have to appeal to everyone. And so some people just choose to take that like, okay, let's just do 16:9 and keep it simple for everybody. Whereas if you're considering more the experience for the higher end and people who really, really care about the details, you want to include that stuff and take the extra care to make sure that it really is the best experience for people. And that's where features like this adaptive aspect ratio come in.
Now, do you think, so Apple with F1, it kind of funded it a little bit. Do you think they'll do an at-home IMAX release for the first time outside of Disney Plus and their IMAX versions that they do there? That's the other example I can think of.
I could see it going either way. I would hope that they would take that opportunity to really shout that out and make it, say, hey, if you want to experience this in the best way, check it out on the Vision Pro where you can.
Would that be wild too? IMAX only available for the Vision Pro. Like, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, with Apple TV Plus, I could see them making the decision, let's just make the version that makes the most sense for the most screens. But I would hope that either maybe not the standard version, maybe not the version that comes out first, but maybe a deluxe edition at some point. They did the director's cut in Napoleon, so maybe they could do something similar with F1. And
you still can't buy the Napoleon director's cut. You have to be an Apple TV Plus subscriber. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I thought that would be available at some point because they've done a good job of making a lot of their bigger films available for purchase.
Yeah.
And they're even going back and adding things that were streaming first and putting them on the store as well. So, I'm surprised by that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see F1, an enhanced version, either on the service or maybe on the store as well, because people who really care about it would pay money for it.
Yeah, Dune 2 is the hardest one because there's so much cut off from the at-home release. It's like, oh, come on. Why can't you give me... It's kind of funny. Like, I almost, long for 4:3, released movies with the Vision Pro. It's like, this seems like... Yeah, I don't know. Like, 4:3 is cutting off all sorts of stuff. I'm trying to even think 4:3 versus IMAX. It's just a bigger 4:3 almost? Like, it's wider and taller? Is that what that aspect ratio is? Like,
I don't know the exact aspect ratio of IMAX, and then you get into questions of is it real IMAX or
because I only have the IMAX near here. There's like 12 theaters in the country. It's ridiculous. Like, there should be more. Yeah, in Indiana where I grew up, we had a real IMAX. I miss those days. Yeah. Did you get to see F1 at a IMAX or an IMAX screen or anything like that?
So I saw it at my local theater, which is just a standard theater. I wasn't able to travel for it. We're still at the point where getting out to the movies is a little bit of a chore with the little one. So, but yeah, it was awesome. I think what I said on Magic Rays of Light was whatever big screen, the biggest screen you can get, if that's a local theater, if that's going to see it in 40X, which was available a couple hours away.
Yeah.
And I thought about taking a day off work to go do it, and I couldn't justify it. But or of course IMAX, which it's coming back to IMAX. I think as this releases, it should still be an IMAX screen. So
that's cool.
That would be an epic way to experience it. And if I got the opportunity, I'd love to.
Yeah, I now understand the value of the 10 p.m. showing. It's I go alone when everyone's sleeping. I can go to the theater and experience movies. And, so that's a valuable time slot now for me. Just make sure I don't fall asleep.
Yeah, that's you keep in mind that when you look at the movie showings, or I guess any timing of anything, like it's purposeful. It may not be for you, but that's for somebody out there.
Yes. And spatial browsing in Safari, I still don't understand this. I'm not sure if I'll ever really use this, except for on accident when I accidentally tap my fingers when I'm looking at it.
This is, I think it's a groundwork setting thing. It's very early. Apple is calling this the first step into the spatial web, which is very, bold. And I appreciate the boldness, but I think that this is a feature, if you love reader mode on Safari on your Mac or your iPad or your phone, like this is that, but taken to a whole new level.
And they took out reader mode on visionOS, right? This replaces it. Is that accurate to say?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe this is the thing now, or they really push it hard in terms of like if you're looking at a web page that supports reader mode, it has that spatial browsing button up in the address bar, and like I don't know if it does this for you, but like it grows to the size of the address bar just about
I've accidentally hit it because it's like, this is big. I actually tapped fingers and oh gosh, all my windows disappeared because I'm now in the spatial. That would be cool if when you brought up spatial browsing in Safari, if it brought up the old time machine leopard UI around you where you're like in space. That should be an environment, the time machine backup.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good environment to be in.
I would enjoy that a lot. But the spatial browsing, I mean, it's cool the way it like dissolves the background of the web page into the area around you. And I'll say that in terms of spatial scenes, I think on the Vision Pro that spatial browsing is actually one of the best applications of spatial scenes because it's not relying on you physically moving around. As you're scrolling, you're getting a different top-down perspective of the image, which is very cool. My only gripe there, or note, I guess, as they're developing it is that it should pre-do those images. Don't wait till I scroll to it to start the conversion because sometimes I find myself pausing to, if you're doing the look to scroll, then you get to an image and you see the animation still going, you just have to stop and wait, or I guess just scroll past it. But I feel like this is very early days for spatial browsing. I think that what they're doing with that reader style view, with the ability to embed 3D objects on web pages and make them not only manipulable within the web page, but also you can bring them out into your own space. And also what they're doing with video with spatial browsing is really interesting, making that a good experience in terms of websites that may not have Vision Pro apps like YouTube. They've done some work there to make that experience of watching it in a spatial environment better. So they're doing work there. I think it's not something that I'm going to necessarily be using every time I browse the web. I don't do a ton of reading actually in Safari. Most of my reading I'll do in a read later app like Good Links or an RSS reader. And so I could see myself, if I did more reading in Safari, I'd probably use this more, and maybe that's something I'll try to push myself to do more. But I feel like this is very much like step one, and it's going to take some time for buy-in from different websites to actually embed the 3D elements into the web pages to the point that it's actually going to be something that makes more sense to use more often.
Yeah. I just noticed in the fine print something just interesting. So first, it says Pickle Pro is coming to Vision OS later this year and requires a spatial game controller support for input in 6 degrees of freedom, such as PSVR 2 Sense Controller. Controllers sold separately. I find it interesting it says such as, implying that other controllers may end up working with this thing. Maybe?
Yeah. I mean, could definitely see that happening. Once you build in the APIs and the integrations, I feel like, I mean, it wouldn't be a one-to-one match to another controller, but there are some third-party VR controllers out there, so I can see that becoming an option for people later down the line.
I wonder if a Quest controller would actually work this thing, and no one's tried yet. Like, because Apple hates Meta, but I wonder if it just works because it's a standard Bluetooth protocol that's now baked in with this PlayStation support.
Yeah, because we don't even know necessarily what the pairing process is going to look like. I'm assuming it'll be Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth, same as you would a normal controller, I'd assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly if the controllers can lock themselves to only pairing with certain devices or how exactly that's going to work. But I'd say the more options, the better, because it'll be good for Sony to sell some controllers through that exclusivity.
Yeah, they got to figure out how to debundle them from the headset first, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have to figure that out probably within the next month or so. I can't imagine. I have to imagine they want to have it ready for the launch, but I guess they probably can't even give a date until the event where Apple announces the dates for the OSs.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they've got a warehouse somewhere ready to go.
For sure, yeah. Well, anything else on visionOS 26 before we move on to some just odd-end things real quick?
I'll say the home view is getting improvements in terms of you can make your own folders, which is great, but rearranging my home view very much took me back to the old school days of iOS, of like having to be very meticulous about, okay, how many folders am I going to have? How many icons am I going to have on the screen? How much space do I have? And I'm not looking forward to, I think probably what I'll do is I'll let that very last page build up for a while, and then I'll go back and reorganize, but I'm not looking forward to having to go back and continually do that. And it just makes me, as appreciative as I am of the folders, and I'm glad they're there, it makes me wish for App Library.
Yeah, it makes me almost angry. It's like, let me have the App Library, please. This is ridiculous. Like, I love that we have folders, but it should be both folders with the App Library. Let's have both of those, please.
Yeah. And I hope that comes. I don't know if the solution is like the iOS style app library or if like the Mac version where it's built into Spotlight. Maybe that would be an option someday. But I'm kind of, at least at this point in the process, I've got my home view the way I want it, but I'm also just giving myself some grace to let the chaos happen at the end of the line for a while.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, we have folders. I'm not really using them. I'll probably just have all the apps I don't regularly use in one big folder. And then I'll have, like, 4 pages of apps just, individually as they are now. Because even thinking about it, like, do I want all my video entertainment apps in a folder? No, I think I'd rather just have a full screen of all the 12 apps or whatever that are for video entertainment. Then the next page be my 12 apps for productivity. And then, I think I'd rather have just screens of app sources going into these folders, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've run into. Like, I tried to do pages of like, this is my video page, this is my games page, but then if you have a 13th app in that category, then you're building that other folder at the end. And so I've gone pretty deep into folders in terms of all the video ones are in one, all the productivity ones are in one. But then there's always the exceptions because there are apps that you do want right on that first or second.
That could be another approach, too. You have your whatever 10 or 11, and then the last app begins the folder for that page. So you have all the associated apps, and you have the apps that are, that are the video apps that aren't as special, that are in the folder.
Peacock can go in the folder because it's still the iPad version.
Yes. Paramount Plus. It's such a weird app. It's still buggy as hell, but it's still a nice visionOS app that doesn't remember your play position. You got to finish that movie if you're going to watch it from start to finish. Otherwise, you won't know where you are.
Hey, that lack of the Now Playing integration is a feature, so you can listen to your podcast while you watch whatever movie you're watching.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, Paramount Plus got a lot of good stuff. They got the new Dexter show now. got the crazy South Park season that's airing. It's quite the place to be right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't used it since they canceled the Equalizer on CBS, but it's bundled into my Walmart Plus subscription, so I'm probably just gonna leave it there and
interesting.
and keep it around. So, but yeah, I mean, it's great that it's a visionOS app. visionOS 26 overall, I think that it's pretty stable in terms of using it day to day. I don't find it limiting me on my ability to do things, and still doing research and living with it before drawing any conclusions. But I think that it's the next step for spatial computing, and it feels like this year, I was actually just talking to Sigmund about this on Magic Razor Light. It feels like this batch of OS releases this year, because all the features announced are coming in the fall. Like, it feels like we're actually being set up for some surprises, like early next year and into the spring, like just random things that we didn't know were coming, which I think is actually a really fun way to do it. So we have no idea what 26.1.2 are going to bring, and so that's exciting to me as well. But I'm enjoying living with it and looking forward to reviewing it here in about a month and a half.
Very cool. Yeah, most of the time, battery life is a concern when you're doing the betas. But on the Vision Pro, you're just always plugged into the wall, pretty much, for me at least.
Yeah, battery life is always a concern with Vision Pro.
So, no different here. I'm just constantly either plugged into the wall or the battery's tethered to another battery.
Yeah, my favorite is, like I said, I edit at night in bed, and my favorite is when I'm deep into an editing session. I've gone about an hour, 45 minutes, and I get that notification that you've got 10% left. And I'm like, can I make it, or do I need to run to the desk? And I actually do have a USB-C charger next to my. Well, I have the plug. It goes to a MagSafe charger, but I could hook a USB-C cord if I needed to. I've done that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I feel like my other devices are much closer to the Vision Pro in terms of battery life now that I'm on the betas. And, it's more of it's like Vision Pro was training me to have battery anxiety for everything that I own over the summer.
I'll tell you, the summer, that iPhone 15 Pro, I have to, at least once a day, I'm putting that iPhone in front of the car AC to make sure I can. I get the warning, you can't use it, it's too hot. It's like, okay, let me cool you down for a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah, my iPad Pro, I was at a conference last week, and I was working. I had it hooked into the wall, but just charging while using it got it so hot that it got caught in a state where it couldn't charge anymore. And so I was kind of in a little bit of a limbo. I guess it wasn't losing battery, but it couldn't gain any battery either.
My iPad Pro today, I noticed it was dead, so I turned it on and let me plug into the battery, and then I left it charging, but it was too hot today, so I went back to it. It's like, you're still at 1%, and then there's a notice, on hold, it's too hot. It's okay. It's like, okay. Yes, it's that time of year. Perfect time for betas to be in the summer when it's very hot outside. Oh, gosh. So, two things I just want to touch on. AppleCare One, is that what it's called? So, very easy to sign up. I followed a link from Apple's website for AppleCare, and it opened the Settings app on my iPad Pro. I don't know if this actually advertises to you on the devices after it rolled out or not, but once I did that, I was like, oh, you can register your Vision Pro. It's like, okay, let's do that. And then it's like, and then I had 2 more device slots, and it said I could replace my iPad Pro, but I'm not doing that because I already have coverage for another year and a half or whatever. So then I added my Apple Watch Ultra 2, which has long since expired, and what I would have been able to do, as well as my iPhone 15 Pro. So that's $16 with the coverage there, plus $25 for the Vision Pro. It's like half price or something with this $20. So this is the $20 monthly service, and it adds theft and loss protection to the watch and iPad if you do that as well.
Yeah, this is a wild deal to me. And reading the press release, I was like, there has to be a catch of like a price value limit on what you can cover. Or I was like, there's no way the Vision Pro is going to be included in this, because it's cheaper to cover 3 devices, including the Vision Pro, than to just pay for AppleCare Plus on the Vision Pro.
Yeah.
So like even just moving your Vision Pro over to that plan is saving you money, and then you basically get the other devices for free.
Yeah.
So I'm saving like $13 a month over what I was paying before. My problem with any of these features, I did the same thing when Apple One came out. I am such a like cutting edge person when it comes to that. I just want to sign up as soon as it's available. Like I don't care how badly I mess up things. I just want to be the guinea pig and get into it.
Same way. Yeah.
I went as soon as I realized it was available. I went into my settings, general, AppleCare warranty, and I went to my Vision Pro because that was the first one I wanted to move over because I knew that would save me money even if anything else went wrong. And so I went to the Vision Pro page and it said it was covered by AppleCare Plus, and there was nothing about being able to change it. I hit manage and the only option was to cancel. And so I backed out of that cancel page, and when I backed out, then a little banner at the top popped up for AppleCare One.
Oh, okay.
So I had beaten the animation or whatever, had to trigger cloud side to get it to show up. But yeah, transferring over, it was really simple, way simpler than I thought it would be with all the, because there's like legal complications in terms of warranties and different states and rules they have and people underwriting those plans and everything. So I was really surprised how simple it was to, Apple said, you're going to save this much a month if you transfer over, just hit this button, we'll cancel for you and start the new one. They refunded
the
I got a
rest
refund
of the
month.
Yeah, that's great.
Which was, I was like, I already paid for this. I didn't expect to, I expected it to wait until it was over to start the new plan, which then if you're adding multiples, it would be staggered. And I was afraid of like a hole in coverage. So yeah, I think actually refunding was really smart. So it let me add my Vision Pro, and then it suggested other devices to add. I added my iPad Pro, my iPad Mini, and so altogether between those three, I was saving like $13 a month. And I couldn't add my iPhone because it's on an iPhone upgrade program, so it's covered through like a 2-year plan that's being paid monthly.
Yep.
That way. And apparently it is possible to like sever those things and lower your monthly payment and put it in AppleCare One.
Okay.
But then like when I upgrade in September, what's that going to do to the whole sign up process? I'm going to leave that alone and let someone else be the guinea pig for that one. Because I don't want like to miss launch day for the iPhone because I messed up my AppleCare or something. But it also offers to let me add it to my Apple Watch, which I didn't do when I bought it. So, but now because it's less than 4 years old, it gives me that option.
Yeah, the 4-year range is very generous. I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I'm looking at this list now. I could add it to my iMac, and I've got 2 HomePod Minis. I guess a couple of my HomePod Minis have actually already gone past that limit. I don't know if it's actually 4 years for the HomePods. Maybe it's shorter because I don't feel like it's been out that long.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the headphones are a year because they know those break instantly.
Yeah, I'm dealing with some issues with my AirPods Pro right now. The right one, it will play back audio, but the actual devices don't recognize that it's connected. And so I can't do noise cancellation or transparency. I don't know. I'm just limping along right now, hoping for an update in the fall.
One of my AirPod Pros has really bum microphones, and it's just like, they're just dumb AirPods now. It's fine.
Yeah, but probably next time I buy AirPods, I'll just loop them into this because it's just $7 a month to add another device. I think.
$6.
Oh, $6 a month. Yeah.
But AirPods, I think, are cheaper than $6 a month standalone. I'm pretty sure they're not.
Okay.
Much. Yeah.
So that's the math you're going to have to do going forward.
Right. That's why the Vision Pro is such a steal. It's like no one has this, so they're going to be generous with us, I guess.
Yeah. And I did see in the fine print you can only add 1 Vision Pro per plan. So like if you own 2. I don't know if you have to have a second $20 plan. Like if you could make 2 AppleCare Ones, or
it's also linked to your individual Apple IDs. So if it's multiple in their family, each person would presumably have. I don't see it. Is there a scenario where you actually want 2 covered? Like, oh man.
Maybe if you're a developer and like
I guess that would
you're trying to stay on different OSs.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure corporate has like a totally separate AppleCare. Like they have
I think this is personal stuff mostly. Yeah. It is interesting. Yeah, you can only register 1. That's wild. It's like if it's in a family, then multiple people with their own Apple IDs registered to it, and But the iPhone. I'd never $10 a month was way too steep for me to cover. It's like, but if it's free, why not?
Yeah, and I mean I've used AppleCare before. I shattered an iPhone 12 or 13 in September, early September, like less than 2 weeks before the next one was coming out. And I was like, I was going to trade this in. Like, I have to pay to fix this. It's going to save me money to pay to fix this than it would like taking the hit on the value of it. So AppleCare, I will say that if you have to use it, like it does work in your favor. And that's kind of the bet that you're taking when you have the coverage. It's like, I'm just insuring myself in case something does happen. And I don't want to take that risk with something like the Vision Pro for sure, because that's just not something I want to gamble with. And the other thing about AppleCare One that I thought was interesting is you can add and remove devices at will. So
that's wild.
As long as you can verify it's not broken and it's within that
the 4 years
time frame, you can just add it at any time and remove it and like swap things out. And if you upgrade a device, like if you trade in a device, Apple will automatically swap those out for you. Like it'll take off the old one and put in the new one seamlessly. So there's a lot of really cool things happening here. And again, when I was reading the press release, I was like, there has to be some kind of got you to this.
It's too good.
This just, it feels too good to be true. I was like, surely this has to be a pain to implement, like to get signed up for. And no, it's just all really smooth and a good deal.
It's definitely a pro consumer move if you're a high-end shopper. All the pro devices like the iPad Pro, the iPhone Pro, like if you buy stuff with Apple Vision Pro, those are the expensive AppleCare plans. If you buy like probably like the cheapest Apple Watch and like the cheapest iPhone, it's probably less of a good deal. But certainly for our computers, it's a great deal. And yeah, I'll have to have like a reminder. Oh, this device is coming up on my 4 years. Let me add this to AppleCare One now. Because like I imagine once it's in there, it's like locked in there until it's like not able to be covered at all, kind of thing. I wonder when they'll kick devices off.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Like my iPad Mini, it's coming up on. I think it'll be 4 years old within the next year or so. So it'll be interesting to see if they let me. I think they will, as long as you keep paying for it and don't remove it. I think it'll stay on there
until it becomes obsolete or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't have your iPad Air 2 still covered by AppleCare One.
Right.
People still holding on to those.
It's such a good device. And then the other thing I want to touch on is the Alien environment. I checked this out. It's in the Disney Plus app. Those are such good environments in Disney Plus. And with all other Disney Plus environments, it's different from when you're watching something to when you're just hanging out. And I noticed when you're just hanging out, you can actually put other windows in with you. I didn't realize you could actually do that, but I was able to add like Safari and stuff in there, so I could be working.
Really?
Pretty sure I was doing that because I was moving the Disney. Yeah, because you enter the environment in Disney Plus, and then I could have sworn I had other windows open too.
Wow,
it's not until you play a video that it like takes over.
That would be really cool. I've been so trained by third-party environments not to even hit the home button because things will just go away. So I didn't even try it.
Maybe it's because I had the windows already open. I need to test this again. I might be misremembering, but maybe it's I already windows open that was working there, but maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, there's like an alien wandering about this environment, at least when you're not watching a video. You watched like a full episode of Boys Meet World, or what would you watch?
Yes. So totally inappropriate for the environment. I don't know anything about the Alien franchise. I've never seen any of them, so I didn't use this the right way.
Disappointing to me hearing this.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But I happen to be going through a Boy Meets World rewatch with. I love rewatch podcasts, Tim. I'm a sucker for them. Like that whole genre just appeals to me, and I'll listen to so many of them. And I'm doing the Boy Meets World one right now. And so I was in the environment. You've got all the flickering lights and what really got me, kind of freaked me out, was the static shock falling from the ceiling, like little sparks. And I was like, because there's also like a dripping water sound. So at one point I thought it was water, but it was actually electricity. But it's a very eerie environment, obviously, to go along with the franchise. And then I hit play on my episode, and the Boy Meets World theme song started, and I was like, yeah, this is totally inappropriate for this environment.
Now, is the alien hunting you when you're watching a movie, or is that just when you're not watching anything?
I didn't notice the alien walking about. I noticed them in the containers, but I didn't see one coming after me, so I think it would have gotten me.
Yeah. So next time you try it out, at least when you're not playing a video, there will be an alien kind of like scurrying about the environment, like a full xenomorph.
Okay, I heard it, but I didn't see it. So
yeah, it's there.
I also I
Like
couldn't
stuff,
fully turn around because I was sitting too close to my headboard.
Oh
and
yeah.
So
the little light thing.
It's like you're too close to the wall.
Yeah.
And like I would try to pull my head back, and anyway, so I was trying to look fully around, and I didn't quite get the full turnaround view. So maybe it's behind me then, but yeah, it's the thing that got me the most actually was coming out of the video when you stop playback. And the sounds start again from the environment. It's like, oh yeah, this is where I was, and it kind of it just resets that mood. It's very impactful though. I would say it gives you that creepy feeling, and it'd be great to enhance any sort of like thriller, sci-fi, horror kind of thing. I think anything like that would be perfect for this, but probably not 90s sitcoms.
Probably not. Yeah, I'm excited to watch Alien Earth soon. That's a show I've been looking forward to for over a year now. Noah Wiley directing, and very exciting by that, and perfect place in that alien environment. I'll be using that, and the Disney Plus stuff is so good, that those environments. I just wish but like they could be integrated in the system more, because you have to like go in the Disney Plus, let me go in the settings there and turn that on, and it's a whole process.
Yeah,
versus being integrated in the video player.
It's also interesting that Alien Earth is an FX show, right?
Yeah, it's a Hulu deal, FX. Yeah.
So, but
and
because
that's
Hulu
the main
doesn't
Disney
exist
Plus,
on Vision Pro, because they like integrated it right before Vision Pro came out, and so all the content's on Disney Plus, and so that's interesting that it's kind of the conduit for basically a Hulu property, but. Yeah,
you can watch
cool.
Frozen in the alien environment.
Or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus. That's a new one on Disney Plus, but probably not. Shouldn't do that
right now. But yeah, and I saw it's like, are we on the Nostromo looking at the kitchen table thing? Evidently, once the show launches, there might be some panoramic like photos within the Disney Plus app with more stuff outside of this environment, which is cool. So I'll be curious to see all that stuff roll out. Yeah,
Disney's been a great partner with Apple for the Vision Pro, kind of being the primary streaming service that's showing some of these things beside the TV app, obviously, but take advantage of 3D and immersive. And I think it's great that they are able to have that relationship and someone to spearhead a lot of those things. And it's great to see that they're continuing to push that.
For sure. I really wish Max would add some 3D content. They've got good quality, and if you pay for it, and let's add some 3D to it. And then I wish Disney's IMAX optimized things could also be in 3D. It's like you get to choose one or the other. It's like, I'll do 3D, I guess. 'Cause I really want both in one,
It's one of those things that they give us more options, but we always want more. We want the purest experience.
Yes. Oh man, Avatar trailer came out. Very excited. Avatar 3 coming out, I think this December. It'll be a good one in Vision Pro.
Yeah, I was at the screening of the Fantastic Four First Steps, and it was really interesting because at my theater, they do the little ad for the projector company, and then they do the little ad for Dolby, and then the movie starts. But instead of the movie starting, it was a trailer for Avatar 3, and I was like, wait, are we still in the trailers? I thought we just did that. So I don't know if that was a special thing Disney was doing for Fantastic Four or what.
Probably.
But that movie looks great.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I think we covered it.
Cool. Well, where can folks follow you online and check out your reviews and all that good stuff?
Well, I'm on Mastodon and Blue Sky. I'm Devon Dundee there. And you can find my writing and editing work over at MacStories.net. And then my friend Sigmund and I, who you've referenced, we co-host a podcast about Apple TV, Apple Originals, Apple Arcade, that whole entertainment world of Apple stuff. We host that over at MacStories. That's called Magic Rays of Light. Excellent. Thank you so much, Sigmund. Devon. You just said Sigmund. My mind is yes. Hey, it's okay. It's I won't take that as an insult. That's actually an honor. So thank you, Tim. It's great to be here.
Well, that was my discussion with Devon all about visionOS 26 and his upcoming review. Make sure to check out his review in September, assuming that launches, the OS launches on time and everything. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so over at visionpros.fm/Patreon or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. With that, I'll talk with everyone again real soon.